What's it like to stand alone in Tiananmen Square at sunrise? I've been traveling solo for many years. I've visited beautiful cities in Europe and Asia. I walked through Athens' ruins and crossed busy streets in Hong Kong. But Beijing felt different from the start. This was my first trip to China. 14 days. Just me and one immense city with a history that existed before most countries. Beijing is massive. It's bigger than any other city I visited. It made Paris seem small. It made Rome feel peaceful. But it gave me something those cities didn't, a strong feeling of scale. The walls are larger. The streets are wider. The crowds are bigger. The stories stretch back thousands of years. I mainly explored on foot. I like to feel the ground under me. I enjoy entering streets without a plan. However, in Beijing, I use taxis and tours to get to destinations outside of the city center. In this episode, I'll tell you about ancient palaces, street food, the Great Wall, and simple moments in city parks that I remember long after I've left. Beijing felt huge from the time I arrived. The airport itself felt like a small city. Wide hallways, long queues, bright lights. Nonetheless, everything proceeded in the proper order. It reminded me a little of Singapore. Clean and calm and very well planned. But outside, things were different. The streets were wide. Very wide. Much larger than London or Paris. Cars moved fast. Bikes and scooters flowed between lanes like water. I stood there for a while, soaking everything in. I checked into a small hotel near Wangfujing. Not fancy but simple and tidy. About 500 yuan per night, which is approximately $70. A good bargain in the heart of such a large city. The first morning, I went for a walk. When visiting a new city, I always start by walking. It helps me understand how things work. Wangfujing was busy, with its shops and street foods. There are bright signals and it felt modern. It reminded me of certain areas of Tokyo and was clean, but alive. It was busy, but not chaotic. Then I went into a tiny hutong and that's when Beijing changed. Hutongs are tiny alleys with small gray brick homes. They feel old and quiet. People sit outside on little stools. Laundry hangs in the sun. It reminded me of old lanes in Athens, but flatter and simpler. I walked for some time just looking. On day 2, I went to the Forbidden City. I went on a half-day guided tour. It cost 300 yuan for the tour, plus 60 yuan for admission. Total cost around $50. It was well worth it. The Forbidden City is large. Much larger than I thought. With red walls and golden roofs and large open courtyards. It felt more impressive than the Vatican. I've never seen a palace that was so spread out. The guide told legends of emperors who have lived there for ages. Of their power, control, and the ritual. Walking alone through these places felt oppressive and you feel small there. After that, I went to Tiananmen Square. It is one of the world's largest public squares. Very open and very wide. It felt different from iconic locations like Trafalgar Square in London. This square projects authoritativeness. It is formal and strict. Entry to the square is free, however you must pass security checks. On day 4, I went to the Temple of Heaven. The entry price was approximately 35 yuan. I didn't use a guide this time. I just wandered alone. It felt softer here with trees, parks, old men playing cards and women in groups dancing. It made me think of parks in Hong Kong, only bigger. Tai Chi is practiced by the locals in the morning. Tai Chi has slow moves, it is very peaceful. I had a better understanding by the end of the first week. Beauty comes slowly in Beijing. You grow used to it. It's not as charming as Rome and it's not as stunning as Paris. It is solid, powerful. I took a taxi to the Summer Palace in the middle of the week. My hotel is about 60 yuan away and it cost 30 yuan for entry. The Summer Palace is stunning with a lake, bridges and very long walkways that were actually painted. It brought back memories of royal gardens and parts of Vienna, but with more color and curved roofs. I walked down the long corridor. Over 700 meters long. It is covered in paintings. It was a calm day and I could hear the water. On day 7, I arranged a guided tour of the Great Wall in Xianyu. The cost is 500 yuan, which includes transport and admittance. About 70 US dollars. The wall is around 70 kilometers from the center of Beijing. The drive took roughly 1.5 hours. I stopped walking when I saw it. It climbed over the green hills like a dragon. Strong and endless. I've visited ancient ruins before. I've walked Hadrian's Wall in England. But it felt alive, much bigger and much wilder. Climbing it was not easy with its numerous steps and steep slopes. But standing there alone with the wind on my face made me feel small but in a good way. The tour had returned by late afternoon. Another day, I went to the Lama Temple. The entry fee was 25 yuan. It was quiet with the air thick with incense. There is a large golden Buddha inside. It reminded me of the temples in Bangkok, but darker and more solemn. I spent my evenings exploring food streets. Beijing duck is famous. A good meal costs about 150 to 200 yuan. It was worth it with crispy skin, soft flesh and sweet sauce. Street food was cheaper. Snacks cost from 20 to 40 yuan. It was all skewers, dumplings or flatbread with beef. Beijing felt more affordable than cities such as Hong Kong and Tokyo. During my second week, I explored the 798 Art District. Entry is free. Old factory spaces have been turned into art studios. It felt modern and in some regards, it is similar to Berlin. I also visited Beihai Park. Entry fee, 20 yuan. A white pagoda on a hilltop and a calm lake and locals sing together. It had a warm, human quality to it. One day, I took a 45-minute taxi ride to the Ming Tombs. Taxis cost around 80 yuan each way. Entry costs around 45 yuan. The tombs are peaceful. Large gates. Long spirit path lined with stone statues and fewer crowds. It reminded me of ancient Greek sites, but more orderly. Taxis were an attractive mode of transport. Most short journeys in central Beijing cost between 20 and 60 yuan. Very fair. I also utilized Dido, their sharing app. Subway fares were even cheaper. Approximately 3 to 6 yuan for each trip. They are clean and easy to use. One longer excursion I considered was to Qingda, which is approximately 230 kilometers away. There are guided trips for roughly 900 yuan. Instead, I decided to stay close to look deeper into Beijing. The city seemed endless. Every day, I walked at least 10 kilometers. Beijing gradually changed me. Initially, I felt like an outsider. Signs were difficult to read. English was not spoken everywhere. It wasn't as easy as touring through Europe. But the people were friendly. They tried to help. After 14 days, I felt more at ease. Beijing is not a city that welcomes you warmly immediately. It watches you at first. Then, if you stay long enough, it will open to you. When I left, I felt like I'd only seen a little of it. But I had walked its streets, climbed the wall, sat in the parks, and that felt enough. Beijing was a surprise to me. It was bigger, stronger, more serious, but it gave warm meals at night and peaceful mornings in parks. Most of the time, I felt secure traveling alone. Often curious. In the finest possible way. Start here if you're thinking about traveling alone to China. Take frequent walks. Use taxis as necessary. To discover the deeper stories, take a tour. Give it some time if you go. Go down its lanes. Take a bench in its parks. Climb its wall. Beijing is a huge city, but those who explore it actually are rewarded. However, it will remain with you long after you leave if you let it. Keep walking. Till the next time, I'll see you in the next city.